Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is another edition of the Lapdown Podcast. I am your host, Greg Farmer, and with me tonight is Bret, returning for the first episode of the season, and Tyler. How are we doing tonight, boys?
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
That is exceptional to hear. Before we get started, as always, I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Will and the Alkali Project for the intro and outro music on this podcast. Thank you very, very much for providing our music. Tonight's episode is going to be pretty short and sweet. We're just going to be previewing Daytona. It is race week. 2025 Speedweek's officially, you wouldn't really call it Speedweeks, but Speedweek starts tomorrow. First practice for the Cup Series is at 10:05 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then we have pole qualifying tomorrow night at 8 p.m. where the front row for the Daytona 500 will be set. And then Thursday night will be the duels, where the rest of the field gets set. And we find out which open cars will make the field. There are 9 of them this year. And then Sunday obviously is the 64th running for the Daytona 500. Someone fact check me on that.
66.
Okay. So I was off by a number. So Bret, what do you think we can expect from qualifying and the duels over the next couple of days leading into the big race on Sunday?
I believe that qualifying is going to be very calm, cool, and collective, but the duels, you have so many new faces and so many new rides that I believe that they're going to try to show out and show why they got that ride, and it's going to cause more issues than solutions.
Yeah, well, obviously qualifying is going to be calm, cool, and collected because it's single car, 2 rounds, top 10 make the second round. And then after the second round, we'll find out who is on the front row of the Daytona 500. As we all saw last year, Alex Bowman's streak of front row starts ended. So maybe he can start a new streak. But what about you, Tyler? What do you think will happen over the next couple of days? And Tyler looks to be busy.
Sorry, I was taking a leak. I personally think Hendrick Fowler will be there, and I actually think I think Justin Allgaier gets full. I think Allgaier.
That is a very bold prediction.
He has a Hendrick powered car. It's just branded JRM.
Yeah, I did see Bob Pockrass tweet out. He posted videos of some of the haulers coming in to the track today, and one of them was the JRM hauler. And let me tell you, it was pretty surreal to see a JRM branded Cup Series hauler pulling into the Daytona Cup Series garage. But so moving into, so we know the duels are 60 laps. So, as far as like pit stops and all that stuff, they'll probably cut it in half, depending on cautions. But when we get to the big race, the stages are 65, 65, and 70. So, could it be like in the last couple of years past where, they're saving fuel for the first little bit of each stage? Like, what do we think? What about Bret?
Well, they've learned these next-gen cars so well to know that they can save the fuel that they need. So I don't see how the racing's going to change that way. Now, you will have more people being a little bit more aggressive, people who are not as aggressive. up there, but it's not going to change much.
Especially the open cars, especially the open cars.
Yeah. I mean, we saw last year, at all the drafting tracks. I mean, not really Atlanta per se, but definitely Daytona and Talladega. The only way they went 3 and 4 wide is when they were, running half throttle, saving fuel. If they're running wide open full throttle, they can really only go 2 wide, and they can't really pass.
Because of the air pockets in the bubble, that's why.
Yeah, definitely. And I gotta pull up a tweet here.
And don't forget to do arrow changes. Don't forget about the arrow changes from last season after Talladega, after what happened at Daytona.
Yeah, they did make some arrow changes.
I think they mentioned that. That's why I would say they made arrow changes last season, but I don't know if they made any in this season so far.
I haven't really heard anything about any arrow changes going into this season. I think they're keeping the same ones that they implemented last year, like the fabric inside the roof flaps. I think the extended shark fin or the double shark fins on the back windows.
Because that was a good race. That was a good race at the summer race at Daytona. That was a very good race.
Yes, it was. I was there, and it was definitely more exciting than the 500 last year. So, moving on. Hang on, I gotta save a photo here because it's something that I need to talk about. Here we go. All right. Go back to my notes here. We saw in last year's 500, the big one struck with about 15, 20 laps to go. It started with
William Byron.
Well, it started with a bad block by Brad Keselowski as Byron was getting a push from Alex Bowman, and he just kind of got pushed through Keselowski. But when do we think the big one might strike in Sunday's race?
Well, I think it might. Actually, let's see what Brett has to say first, because I have a couple different ideas.
Go ahead, Brett.
Sorry.
What do you think the big one is? Okay, sorry.
I think it's going to happen right there. That range of 15 to 20 laps is where the big one's going to happen. A lot more people are getting aggressive. But I also think there might be 2 big ones this year. Like I said before with the duels, people are going to be aggressive. And like last year, at the beginning of it, you had 5 cars get wrecked out of the race because of a bad push at the beginning of the race. So I think there's going to be another one similar to that.
I personally think that I think there might be one towards the end of stage 2, a little over halfway. Just because of the guys, the open cars that made the race want to get those points for their teams and stuff like that, and to get the money. Because halfway is a payday. It still is. I don't know if it is anymore or not. But they're going to be more aggressive about towards halfway, and then I definitely agree with towards the end, like 15, 20 laps to go.
There is no bonus for leading at halfway anymore.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying, though. I mean, those are, pretty accurate predictions. On to the final topic regarding the preview. We have 9 open cars, vying for 4 spots. Technically 4 spots. Elio Castroneves is in the race no matter what, whether he makes it in on qualifying or in the duels or with the open exemption provisional. But those open cars consist of Martin Truex Jr., Anthony Alfredo, Justin Allgaier, Jimmy Johnson, Elio Castroneves, BJ McLeod, JJ Yaley, and Chandler Smith. Now, we know that Elio is going to be in the race, whether it's a 40-car field or a 41-car field. Who do you guys think out of those open cars makes the Daytona 500?
Ooh,
Brett.
ooh.
I've got MTJ, Jimmy Johnson, Alfredo, and Allgaier with Castro using the open provisional as a 41 car.
All right. What about you, Tyler?
I have Allgaier, Truex, Chandler Smith, and Alfredo and Trevez. I don't think Johnson makes the race. Personally, I don't know if those cars are going to have the speed.
Yeah, Jimmy barely made the race last year. My prediction is, I think Elio, with the basically non-existent experience of stock car racing, like I know he's running the ARCA race on Saturday to get some extra seat time and extra practice, but I think he's going to have to use the OEP. So my 4 predictions are going to be Truex, Alfredo, Allgaier, and BJ McLeod. BJ McLeod always finds a way to make this race somehow.
He's a good drafting class. He just happens to have a sucky car.
Yep.
He's not a bad. He's not a bad driver. It's just the fact that he just has poor equipment. It's unfortunate.
Yep. No, I was at Talladega last year with my wife at the spring race, and they were running 2 and 3 wide, saving fuel, and BJ McLeod just came storming up the outside, being pushed by Denny Hamlin, I think it was, and he just stormed to the lead, and the whole crowd was like, "What in the hell?" This black car with no sponsors just overtook everyone. But we're gonna move into our next segment. This will count for our race pick points come Sunday, and I will add the points after tomorrow night. We are going to make our predictions for who gets the front row for the Daytona 500. Now let me explain the rules here. You can pick the same drivers as someone else if you want to. That's totally fine. If you get one right, you get 1 point. If you get both picks right, you get 2 points. And it doesn't matter. So if Tyler and Brett if they pick a driver, let's say Brett and Tyler both pick Alex Bowman, and he makes the front row, both of them get 1 point. So I will start with Brett. Who is your prediction for the front row of the Daytona 500?
So you want both front row? So
yes,
mine would be Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick.
Inside and outside.
I do Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick.
All right, let me get that locked.
That's a good one.
Let me get that wrote down.
Now I have to agree with you on Alex Bowman, but I'm also going to go with Justin Allgaier going on the outside lane.
All right. All right, so we have Alex Bowman and Tyler Reddick for Brett, and then for Tyler we have Alex Bowman and Justin Allgaier. All right, so my prediction is on the outside of the front row, starting second, will be Chase Elliott.
Ooh, that's respectable. That's respectable.
And the pole winner will continue his streak of pole wins on drafting tracks from 2024. I am going with the 71 of Michael McDowell.
I forgot about him.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's the 71. Yeah, that's actually a really good one. That's a really good one, actually. I actually, for a second, thought all 3 of us were going to go Alex Bowman.
I did too.
As much as I want to, I just got a feeling that another Hendrick car other than William Byron or Alex Bowman will be on the front row, and you never ever count out Michael McDowell. All right. So we are going to go into our final segment of the night. This is something that I put together over the last couple of days. It is Daytona trivia. All right. Specifically the Daytona 500. So I will be asking the questions. I will not be participating in this. It's just between Tyler and Bret. There are a few categories, and I will give you, I'll explain it as I go along. Basically, at the end of the game, quote unquote, whoever has the most points, or whoever has the most right answers, will receive 10 points towards their race pick total. Second place will get 5 points. All right. So let's kick it off. The category is front row winners. I will give you the 2 drivers that started on the front row. You give me the year.
Okay.
Number 1, Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick. Bret.
I would go 2010.
2003.
Right.
2003. 2003.
Neither of you got it right. It was 2002.
I was off by a year. I knew it was either 2002 or 2003. I knew it.
All right. Number 2, Dale Earnhardt and Sterling Marlin. Bret.
When that's 1998.
All right, Tyler.
94.
Neither of you are correct. It was 1995.
God damn! Why?
All right. All right. Next category, duel winners. So these drivers won their respective duels for that particular year. Number 1, Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch. Bret.
2016.
All right, Tyler.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to say 2012.
Neither of you are correct. It was 2013.
God damn it! Seriously? How am I just like? How am I the one that's like literally 1 year off?
All right, number 2, Jeff Gordon and Michael Waltrip. Bret.
2001.
2005.
Right. Neither of you are correct. 2002.
Hey, you're the year off this time. We are bad at this.
Number 3, Sterling Marlin and Mike Skinner. Bret.
92.
96.
All right. Nope. 2001.
Really? 2001?
Yep.
Huh.
All right. Somebody's got to get a point here. Here's the next category. Here, I will give you the top 3 in the finishing order. You give me the year. Number 1, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, and Bill Elliott.
2000.
All right.
I was going to say
Bret.
93.
Tyler is correct. 2000. All right. Number 2, Darrell Waltrip, Ken Schrader, Dale Earnhardt. Bret.
1989.
90.
Tyler is correct. 1989.
That's when Darrell Waltrip won his only 500.
Number 3, Jeff Gordon, Kurt Busch, Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, I know
Jr.
this one. I know this one.
Bret.
2005. 2005.
Yeah, or 2006. No, yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Tyler is correct. 2005. All right, number 4. Brett, you got to get on the board here. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones.
Twenty
2019.
Tyler's correct. 2019. It was an all Gibbs 1-2-3 finish.
2016 was Truex and Hamlin's photo finish.
That's where okay, I get those switched.
All right. Last category before the big question at the end. Who has the most DNFs? I will give you the number. No, I'm sorry. I will give you the driver. You give me the number.
For the 500? Like, this is for most DNFs for the 500?
Just specifically the Daytona 500.
Okay.
All right. We're going to start with the least to the most. Here's driver number 1. Kyle Busch.
3.
I would say like 4 or 5.
Neither of you correct. Kyle Busch has 6 DNFs in the Daytona 500.
Holy shit.
Driver number 2, Jimmy Johnson.
Like
9.
Like 10, like 12.
Nope. 7. All right. Driver number 3. This driver has the most DNFs. Brad Keselowski.
13.
11.
Nope. 9. All right. Final question. And this one is worth 5 points. So Brett, you could win it here. Okay? I'm going to ask the question. You give me the year. And you can get a bonus point if you can tell me the second part of the answer. Which Daytona 500 had the biggest big one? What year? And I will give you a hint. It is not in the modern era.
I think I know.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Like really, Nate? I don't remember exactly, like 1960 something. It was like 50 something cars.
I need an official guess.
1963.
I go 1965.
All right, and how many cars?
50 for me. 54 cars.
49.
Neither of you are correct. The Daytona 500 that had the biggest big one involved 37 cars, and it was in 1960.
Okay, so we had the right years, right era. Okay.
Yep, you were in the right decade.
That would have been the dirt.
No, that would have been that was the second Daytona 500. 37 cars. Yep, that makes sense. I remember watching a documentary on that.
Yep, the first Daytona 500 was held in 1959. Lee Petty won it in a photo finish that was determined after 3 days.
Huh.
Yep.
I think I know a little too much about finishing orders. Especially at modern.
So final score, Brett 0, Tyler 4. So Tyler gets the 10 bonus points and Brett gets 5 bonus points.
Those were actually some damn good questions. I wish we had more people to do it with.
Yeah, right. That's what I was hoping we'd have more people in here tonight, but it's all good.
I was hoping to challenge Ryan, because I know Ryan knows a lot about that shit.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's pretty much going to close us out. As always, a big thank you to our sponsors, Century PC, Sleeves, Bulletproof Coffee, Dr. Squatch, Fanatics, Fubo TV, and again, Alkali Project for the music. Be sure to check us out every week on the Social Sports Pad Podcast Network on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts. We have some good stuff lined up this year. Yeah, it's going to be a great year of racing. But until next time, I am Greg for Bret and Tylor. This has been the Lap Down, and we will see you guys after Daytona.
Peace. That was a good.